Hi there, Timothy Linsdau, video producer, Christian. Just taking a look at what's going on with the Customs and Border Patrol since I only live a couple miles from the border here. What's going on? There seems to be an argument between Customs and Border Patrol, ACLU, and Greyhound bus system. Let's see what that's about. A recent Customs and Border Protection memo obtained by the Associated Press confirms that bus companies such as Greyhound do not have to allow Border Patrol agents to board their buses to check for immigrants in the country illegally. It is contrary to the company's long insistence that it has no choice but to do so. Greyhound, the nation's largest bus carrier, has had that it said that it does not like the agents coming on board, but it has nevertheless permitted them, claiming the federal law demanded it. When provided with the memo by the AP, the company declined to say whether it would change its practice. Greyhound has faced pressure from the ACLU, immigrant rights activists, Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson, to stop allowing these sweeps on buses within 100 miles of the international border or coastline. That is something I was told by Border Patrol when I was doing a small film and they took me around a certain area, that they could go anywhere within these boundaries. Now, they say the practice is intimidating and discriminatory and has become more common under President Donald Trump, that is, the ACLU and other activists. Border Patrol arrests videotaped by passengers have sparked criticism, and Greyhound faces a lawsuit in California allowing it that it violated consumer protection laws by facilitating raids. Now, some other bus companies, such as Jefferson Lines, which operates in 14 states, MTR Western operates Northwest, have made clear they do not consent to border agents boarding buses. The memo obtained by the AP was dated January 28th, addressed to all Chief Patrol agents and signed by then Border Patrol Chief Carla Provost just before she retired. Now, it confirms the legal position that Greyhound's critics have taken, that the Constitution's Fourth Amendment prevents agents from boarding buses, questioning passengers without a warrant or the consent of the company. Now, when transportation checks occur on a bus at a non-checkpoint stations, the agent must demonstrate that he or she gained access to the bus with the consent of the company's owner or one of the company's employees. An agent's actions while on the bus would not cause a reasonable person to believe that he or she is unable to terminate the encounter with the agent. Now, Border Patrol officials have previously said agents do seek the consent of the bus driver before boarding and questioning passengers. Now, Bill Kingsford, the operations officer of Border Patrol in Spokane, Washington sector, said Thursday that before the memo he had not seen that policy in writing. In response to criticism over the past 2 years, Greyhound has said that it does not support or consent to the bus searches, but the federal law left it no choice. The company said the immigration sweeps make for delays, missed buses, and unhappy customers, of course. Now, Greyhound's parent company, First Group PLC, said this last summer, "We are required by federal law to comply with the requests of federal agents. To suggest we have lawful choice in the matter is false." Now, Greyhound said that it appreciated the Border Patrol clarifying its policy. "We were unaware of the United States Border Patrol's memo clarifying that their practices regarding transportation and bus check operations," the company has said. "We are pleased there appears to be greater context about the practices. As we have publicly stated, we do not consent to these searches and maintain that position." The statement said it would continue to request guidance from the Border Patrol. "Our goal is to ensure that our passengers and drivers feel safe and secure when riding with us, and will continue to make that our top priority." Advocacy said the memo could give them additional leverage. This puts the pressure on Greyhound. This was said by Matt Adams, legal director of Northwest Immigrants' Rights Project. Are you going to stand up and protect the customers, or are you going to collaborate with the government? Turn over your passengers to the Border Patrol. That's a pretty wild statement. Any customs agent, Border Patrol I've spoken to, they have solid guidelines to go by. Many of the arguments were that they were profiling, and the Border Patrol says they're questioning everybody when there's a concern. So the Border Patrol denies that there's been that type of questioning, saying all passengers are questioned. Greyhound must take a firm stance, issue a public statement, and add signage to buses and stations, train and empower employees, etc. To make it abundantly clear that the company as a whole does not consent to these searches. Now that was from the ACLU. Washington State's Democratic Attorney General has threatened legal action. Now he says that Greyhound's acquiescence to the Border Patrol causes the usual delays and confusion and so forth. In potential violation of state consumer protection law, he said Greyhound last year took several steps, including posting stickers on its buses notifying the Border Patrol that it does not consent to searches, but the company has so far declined to do that. Now, other bus companies contacted by the Attorney General's office have placed stickers on their buses. It says, this memo is consistent with what my office had been saying all along to Greyhound. Unfortunately, Greyhound continues to demonstrate the indifference to the legal rights of its customers. Well, let's hope that's true about legal rights to legal citizens. If Greyhound refuses to recognize its legal obligations, then we will be forced to take action. Well, we have rights given to us by our Creator that are protected by our government. But people are coming here illegally, so how do we work this out? It was said that under President Obama, Customs and Border Protection in the late 2011 began cutting back so-called transportation checks. The agency told agents to keep away from bus and train stations entirely unless they had actionable intelligence about someone who's recently entered illegally. It also said such operations had to be cleared with the Border Patrol headquarters in D.C. The Trump administration returned authority to the chief agents in each Border Patrol sector to approve the operations, and they have been on the rise, the agency said. In a statement, the Customs and Border Protection said the enforcement operations are routine at transportation hubs and are performed consistent with law in direct support of immediate border enforcement efforts. Okay. The U.S. Border Patrol conducts regular outreach with transportation companies to foster good working relationships, the statement said. The agency has especially faced criticism for conducting the checks on buses far from the border. In Spokane, just under 100 miles from Canada, arrests at the city's bus depots rose from 35 in 2017 to 84 this year, according to data obtained in the University of Washington's Center of Human Rights. Bus routes there run east and west and don't cross the border. Now, among those detained in Spokane last year was Portland, Oregon comedian Mohammed, not going to be able to pronounce it, I'm going to murder this name, Aleshki, who was removed from a Greyhound bus as he returned home from a performance. Aleshki, a Libyan citizen who was granted asylum in the U.S., said he was detained for 20 minutes, even though he had 2 forms of ID. Who knows? His attorney sued the government for false arrest in a federal lawsuit Friday. At the time of the detention, Customs and Border Patrol said Aleshki should have been carrying different identifications to prove his immigration status. The agency said it does not comment on pending litigation. I think we can see the usual arguments going on here, which puts American businesses in the middle of law enforcement and rights of citizens. But again, the people that they're looking for are not American citizens, they're illegal aliens. So there you are, on it goes, the usual battle back and forth. But it is important, you have the right, for redress. ACLU is doing that kind of stuff in other organizations. Keep an eye out for us. And that's how it goes. So there you are. God bless America. Like and comment my video, subscribe to my channel. That'd be great. I seem a little beat in this video. Reason is I fell and tore my hamstring completely, and I'll probably be having more work done soon. So what are you going to do? Well, anyway, do what you can. Get out there and make it a great day, huh?